Continuing our journey around the circle of fifths, we did F major 2-5-1-6 a few days ago. Now I'm on to its relative minor, D minor. And as we go into this, a thought occurred to me, is the ability to improvise something that's certain people have a gift they're born with, sort of a priori knowledge of which notes to choose. I hope that's not the case, because I want to learn how to do it. I am learning how to do it. So what I want to do today is talk through the exercises I use to help me with choosing notes that sound good. And I think it's a given that we have to know our scales. I do understand that several people, myself included, have just nicked other people's licks, and that's nothing wrong with that at all. I've done it, but with the best will in the world, I do not want to sound like anybody but me. So for me, developing my own sound that's my goal. So having a basic grounding in scales, knowing the scales, major, minor, diminished, all the scales that we're going to need. And I'll talk separately about the scales that I use over the 9 major chord types. That will be a separate video. But for today, I'm going to keep it simple and focus on D minor 2-5-1. First of all, I'll talk through the voicings, and then I'll talk about the scales we're going to use over each chord, and then some tips on how to build motifs. Let's call this improvising by numbers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is play E minor 7 flat 5, otherwise known as E half diminished. Okay, so I've got the third, the flat 5, the 7th, and the root. Next chord is A augmented 7 with a sharp 9. I've got 7, 3, sharp 9, sharp 5, and then the D minor 6-9, where we've got the 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 9th. And what scales am I going to use over these chords? Well, over the E minor 7 flat 5, I'm treating that as chord 6 of G jazz melodic minor. So here's my G jazz melodic minor. So I should be choosing some notes from that scale. Then I go on to my A augmented 7 sharp 9. I'm treating that as chord 7 of B flat jazz melodic minor. So I should be choosing some notes from that scale. And then finally, my D minor 7, I beg your pardon, D minor 6, 9. I'm treating that as chord 1 of D jazz melodic minor. So I should be choosing some notes from that scale for that particular chord. So knowing what scales I'm going to use over those 3 chords, now comes the tricky part. Which note should I choose? And I did say a few moments ago that this is going to be improvising by numbers. So what I'm going to do is choose particular tones in the scale, and I'm going to replicate them across the 3 different scales I'm using. So remember, we've got E minor 7 flat 5. Now just as an example, I'm going to go 7-3-2-1-5. Remember, this is in G jazz melodic minor. So 7, 3, 2, 1, 5. Quite like that sound. I'll write that down. Now over the G augmented 7 sharp 9, I'm going to use exactly the same numerical sequence. Remembering now that we're in B flat jazz melodic minor. So my sequence was 7-3-2-1-5. Okay, and now on to the D minor 6. Same sequence. Now we're in D jazz melodic minor. 7, 3, 2, 7, 3, 2, 1, 5. Let me try that one more time. Okay, that's not a brilliant improvisation, but what I'm doing is building motifs. First thing, quite like that motif, I'm transposing it in my head. So I've made a note here. You might see that. I've made a note of my sequence 7-3-2-1-5. I've written those, I've notated that. F sharp, B flat, A, G, D. Now I'm transposing in my head that 7-3-2-1-5 sequence onto the other two scales I'm using. Okay, so that's improvising by numbers. There's practically an infinite number of sequences I could use. What about something more simple? I don't know. 4-7-4. Improvising in the head, I beg your pardon, transposing in the head I find a real challenge, which is why I love to do it. So that's the first part. There will be some more coming a bit later on, but that's all for now.